Hello dear viewers. Today, we will take a broader perspective on the Soviet era and Ukraine's struggle for independence. This topic requires a more detailed examination of the collapse of the Soviet Union and Ukraine's independence process, which represents a significant period in Ukraine's history. We will delve deeper into the events of this period and strive to understand the experiences of the Ukrainian people in more depth. The Soviet era was a dark period for Ukraine. The Soviet Union's control over Ukraine was filled with tragic experiences for its people. During Stalin's era, a horrific famine like the Holodomor occurred in Ukraine. The Holodomor, which occurred in 1932-1933, resulted in the deaths of millions of Ukrainians due to hunger and oppression. This famine was not just a natural disaster but also a consequence of Soviet policies. The Soviet Union exploited Ukraine's territories like slaves through collective farming policies, leading to a major humanitarian crisis. This dark period highlights the sufferings and resilience of the Ukrainian people. The reforms of the Gorbachev era hastened the end of the Soviet Union. The policies of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring, also had a significant impact in Ukraine. Glasnost policy allowed the Ukrainian people to express their anger towards the Soviet regime and voice their independence aspirations more boldly. Perestroika brought about economic and political reforms, but it also led to economic hardships and increased corruption in Ukraine. The centralized policies of the Soviet Union hindered Ukraine's economic development and increased dissatisfaction among the people. This period revitalized political consciousness and the quest for freedom within Ukrainian society. The Chernobyl disaster inflicted a deep wound upon Ukraine. The nuclear reactor accident on April 26, 1986, caused significant environmental and human damage. This disaster, one of the secret projects of the Soviet era like the Duga radar system, seriously affected the health of the region's population. Thousands of people were exposed to radiation, leading to permanent health issues for the local population. The region still struggles with radioactive contamination and long-term environmental effects. The Chernobyl disaster further undermined the trust of the Ukrainian people in the Soviet regime and strengthened their desire for independence. It accelerated the collapse of the Soviet Union, not only impacting Ukraine but also prompting the world to be more cautious about nuclear energy policies and safety. The independence referendum in 1991 was a turning point for Ukraine. This referendum resulted in Ukraine declaring its independence and initiating the process of secession from the Soviet Union. However, this referendum not only represented a few months but was the result of a series of events and decisions. During this period, there was an increase in political and social mobilization in Ukraine. Political parties, trade unions, and civil society organizations began expressing their pro-independence views. Particularly significant was the recognition of Ukraine's independence by the Crimean Parliament in August 1991 and the subsequent adoption of the Ukrainian Declaration of Independence by the Ukrainian Supreme Soviet, which accelerated the independence process. One of the significant events during this period was Ukraine's decision to secede from the Soviet Union. On December 1, 1991, along with Russia, Belarus, and other pro-independence republics, Ukraine decided to secede from the Soviet Union. This led to the formal dissolution of the Soviet Union and marked a new beginning for Ukraine, a significant milestone in its struggle for independence. The events during this period deeply affected Ukraine's modern identity and relationships. Understanding the historical roots of Russia-Ukraine relations is crucial for understanding today's tensions and issues. Moreover, Ukraine's struggle for independence serves as an example of the fight for democracy and freedom. We've come to the end of a fantastic content. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon so you won't miss any new videos. Remember to subscribe to support me and see more interesting content. See you in the next video.